Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L here to talk about Bleach episode 16 and 17, Thousand Year Blood War, my words. Hey everyone. So, I'm having a lot of fun. Where do I even start with these episodes? I think the episodes give us some like really chilling thoughts, and then they let us finally see Shinji's Bankai. This didn't happen in the manga. Our only information about this Bankai came from Can't Fear Your Own World, and yes, it is consistent. I love seeing it there, man. It's awesome. Glad that we got to see it. I'm sure people have questions, so let's just get that out of the way. When you look at Shinji's Bankai, you might be thinking, yo, why can't you use this in a one-on-one situation? And it's actually really, really funny. So, this is the difference between having things happen in a manga and a novel. In a novel, you have more space to actually explain the problem. When it comes to Shinji's Bankai, Shinji wishes that his Bankai would work when it's a 1v1 because he would love to make someone think he's the ally and then cut them from behind. That's who Shinji is. He would love to do that, but his Bankai just doesn't work that way. And it's really funny because the way he says it is, yo, so your Shikai is for really strong enemies and your Bankai is for wiping out mooks. You really are reversed. So that's the issue with Shinji's Bankai. It's reversed. The question here is like, what does that actually say about Shinji's personality? Because the Bankai is a reflection of his soul, something that the Quincy definitely throughout the two episodes seem to not understand when it comes to the Bankai. They don't realize like how intimate that Bankai Shinigami relationship is. Anyway, that's the answer for that one. Flat out, his Bankai will just not work if there's not two people other than Shinji for it to mess the perception of. So, that was a great moment for Shinji the Visored, right? But when you look at the other episodes, when you look at these two episodes together, and then you look at like when like Rose and Kensei show up, bro, I just get sad. I cringe a little because they look cool, but I know what's gonna happen next, bro. Look what happened to Shinji. Man just got hit by a bomb, just got hit by an AoE and got blasted out of there, bud. That sucked. I really like the Visoreds. I wish they got more. When you see the whole thing about holifying the Bankais to like save the Bankais and all that, it makes you wonder, oh, bro, what would have happened if Shinji had gotten his Bankai stolen? Would they have actually been able to take it? Or like, would they have actually been able to keep it? And you might say like, well, the Hollows and the Bankai, they have nothing to do with each other. And it's like, no, stop. Like, these powers are way more melded. Like, Ichigo's, you can tell, the Hollow and the Zanpakuto are the same thing. Now, Ichigo, you know what's going on with him, but when you look at the Arankars, they are, like, much closer, they are closely melded together with the idea of them being the Shinigami Hollow hybrids. When you look at the Visoreds, though, if you look at it very carefully, Rose and I think it was Love, they have hollow masks that match the thematics of their Zanpakuto. Like Rose's is a hollow mask of a bird, and his Shikai is a whip with a flower at the end of it, and a bird is connected to music and all that. Like his is thematically appropriate. When you look at Love's, if I recall, his is like a bat that an Oni would have, and you look at his mask, and his mask is very Oni-like. Like when it comes to the Visoreds, it is very likely that their inner hollows have also merged with their Zanpakuto spirits. That's just how that goes, or that seems to be what's implied with the relationship here. So when it comes to the Visoreds, it's like, yeah, I kind of wish we knew for sure if the Visoreds if they had tried to steal the power of the Visoreds, would it have actually have worked? I don't think so, and it's kind of sad that we don't see the hollow masks pop up here. I wonder if they have some kind of issue with using those hollow masks. I have to look to see if Kubo ever answered a question about this, because he's answered so many questions that elucidate so much about the series, but I have yet to see one about those the Visoreds. But maybe this week he answered. I'll have to check it out later. Anyway, it's just really sad. I really like the Visoreds, and you have this situation here where like Shinji looks cool at first, but then Bambietta like wipes him. It's sad. Like there's 26 letters of the alphabet. It would have been nice for each captain to get one-on-one instead of having like multiple captains have to go up against one person. But this is going to be like the feel for the whole Thousand Year Blood War because of how rushed it was. Still, man, it feels bad. Now, you know, we got Shinji, but then we have Komamura, and we have that whole situation. Man, I gotta tell you, I think the anime is a little bit better here because like trying to understand what was going on in the manga with that father, you get the same feeling, but I think the anime is just so much clearer. Ultimately, that giant wolf, screw him. What a dick. Like that those final lines were like, you lost your heart to give me life or whatever he said. Man, that was rough. That was really rough, and that was a really sad note to end on. The idea that he became a beast of revenge, so he had his last remaining vestiges of humanity taken from him. And then you have the comparisons to Tozen. And I did see, it's not the exact same situation. Komamura is a lot harder on himself because this sucks. Like, the fight with Bambietta was awesome overall, and like the image of him approaching Yuak, also very cool. But yeah, when you look at the actual message on the revenge there, what was really going on with Komamura? See, like, he wasn't fully blinded by revenge, because at the end of the day, he came back for Shinji. He was on a time limit, and he came back for him. That's the big thing. He was chasing revenge, but he wasn't fully blinded by it. And then when you look at what Iba says, and Iba's the manliest man, Iba comes there and says, like, bro, don't worry, you were correct to do what you did. It's just unfortunate that this is how it worked out, but you were correct to do what you did. Like, he's not gonna let his captain fall on his sword, pretty much. So I think when you look at the Komamura situation, you really have to see, like, well, it's not exactly the same as Tozen. Tozen probably would have abandoned everyone and let Shinji die to go take out Yuha, which, is kind of valuable in its own way, but Komamura could not abandon his ideals the way Tozen had. Like, Komamura was chasing very measured revenge. And also, you gotta kind of take down the enemy. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you needed the power to take him down. Like, the revenge might have been motivating you, but at the end of the day, that was also probably a good idea. At the end of the day, he became immortal. The philosophy about the immortality itself was also really cool. Like, yeah, you can explode things, but, like, explosions don't matter if something's already dead. I do think it's a little bit finicky, because an explosion doesn't kill, it destroys. An explosion destroys, fundamentally. And you might think, like, isn't that the same? No. Like, you can kill something without destroying it. Destroying something will always kill it. So that's where, like, when you look at the philosophy, I would kind of disagree with it, but this is just like argument philosophy. You can argue any which way. The idea that because you have no life, you should not fear an explosion doesn't make sense. A mountain should fear an explosion because an explosion will dig a hole through a mountain. So that's the thing there. Like, it was less about this thing being immortal, and I think more about this thing being indestructible. I think that's where, I think if you had gone into indestructibility plus immortality, you would have gone into, like, a proper philosophical battleground on that one. But for what we see here, the general idea of it, the conceptual nature of it, you can probably say, oh yeah, this is okay. And, like, we are talking about ultimately Quincy's, who I assume are not ghosts, fighting ghosts. So you probably have more philosophical leeway to talk about the idea of something that won't die interacting with bombs or whatnot. Anyway, my personal thoughts, but overall I think the philosophy works well enough for the whole immortality thing that Komamura had going on. I'm really sad that he had such little time to do things in, and again, screw the giant werewolf. Are there any other things to talk about? We have the Masculine fighting. I'm just gonna call him Superstar. We have Superstar fighting. We had a few good scenes there. It was cool to see him. I like that one of them pointed out that James is an old man. That was really neat, because that's really important for later. But overall, with Superstar, it's just like, it sucks, because he's so annoying. He sticks around for so long. I would have loved to have seen, like, the vice captains be able to put him down to some degree, but, like, these guys didn't really get any training. Speaking of training, we have Ichigo. And the stuff that Ichigo is seeing in the other world was not in the manga, but it, like, sets things up better for Can't Fear Your Own World. Overall, yeah, no, it's freaky. And you see that Ichigo develops 4 other eyes inside of his eye. And I'm pretty sure, like, when you see the flashes, like, I tried slowing it down. I'm pretty sure that's the creation of the worlds. And you see how, like, the Soul King's arms got separated. All that kind of shit, man. Yeah, nah. That was pretty harrowing, and seeing that Ichigo was handling it is a little bit concerning. But I love that they added that in there, because that gives a better bridge to Can't Fear Your Own World. And for people that don't know, Can't Fear Your Own World is a novelization that came after Bleach ended. Anyway, cool stuff that we saw here for episodes 13 and 14. The big thing that I really just come out feeling is sadness just for the Vizards. That's all. I kind of wish they were cooler. I mean, they're cool. They're cool in concept. The Rancors are so overpowered for what they got out of their hybridization. And you have the Visors over there struggling about. Man, like Shinji's like, poor Shinji is limited by his own Bankai. His own Bankai won't let him fight strong enemies. He has to use his Shikai against them. Okay. I think that's also why like you have Shinji like talking about wanting the girl to, wondering where Bambietta's allies were, because if her allies were there, that Bankai would have destroyed. Man, what a powerful Bankai. It limits itself in order to compensate for how powerful it is. Then we also saw Bambietta being approached by her friends, and we saw what happened there. She screams to not do whatever they're going to do to her. Yeah, could have happened to a worse person. Guys, let me know what you thought down below, and yeah, let me know what your favorite parts are. Let me know if you feel bad for the Visors, and till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.